I am Jeffrey Villarduen in another pike and sword battle like the previous one. The one when I fought with short musket ranges in stainless steel. This time we're in vanilla. This is our glorious general. So I am commanding the Holy Roman Empire. And there are some reiters here, pistoliers, some lancers, and then various types of pike and shot units, arquebusiers and handgunners. Also have some Forlorn Hope here. The genuine item. And some serpentine artillery. The Germans don't have rebolts, so I had to get serpentine artillery. Otherwise, the army is similar to the one I used last time. The floor imbalance is 12,500 versus 14,000, so the AI has 14,000. Also similar as in the last battle. There's a difference in the way the AI deployed at start. It spread out its shot units a lot more. Otherwise, the deployment is similar. And another difference is that in vanilla, the shot units skirmish forward regardless, so without waiting for the pikemen. Very big mistake. So you see here how jumbled up they are, one behind the other. Several units, there are 3 units, one behind the other here. My units are spread out, they've opened fire. So the serpentines have a long range. Now the arquebusiers have opened fire. And here you see the big problem, again the same problem, because the arquebus ranges are so short and the handgun ranges, they bunch up in one place, even worse than in stainless steel. And they skirmish back and forth, none of them is firing because there are other units in front of them. They cannot fire through their men. Here, because they skirmish so far forward ahead of their pikemen, I charge them with cavalry. They had to skirmish so far forward in order to get into range, because their range is so short. And they are being massacred. So I keep charging them with my cavalry.
We must act now.
And by now, they've been destroyed basically. There are just a few units of their shot units left, a few units of handgunners and arquebusiers left. The cavalry is charging one of my tertius there. Not sure what happened, I think they skirmished back. No, here they are, they charged. I'm not sure what happened there. No idea. Maybe they charged again.
This battle progresses well for the Empire. Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
I think they skirmished back and then they charged again. There are some bits missing from this battle. And so here I've charged one of their flanks. And basically they've been routed. Now at this point, all their shot units have been routed. It was even easier than the stainless steel battle because their shot units skirmished so far forward and they were even more useless. They basically didn't pull a single shot against my units. They were just skirmishing back and forth and they were not shooting, and they were completely mauled. And so the enemy is now left just with 4 pike units. They are Swiss pikemen. Swiss Guard, whatever they're called. They're halberdiers actually. I've charged the rebolts there from the rear. The cavalry has been routed. And now I'm sending the Forlorn Hopes forward to delay the attacking Swiss Guard, the Papal State Swiss Guard.
We have broken the enemy army. Now it is time to crush the swine.
And that was the battle, a crushing defeat as you can tell. I am fairly sure the musketeers and handgunners of the Papal States did not pull off a single shot, because they had to skirmish so far forward, and then they were skirmishing in front of each other, and they were running around pointlessly trying to get sort of a good place. He had been mauled, so the total disaster for the paper states, total disaster for the AI. So, what's the conclusion of this? There are anecdotal stories that musketeers were asked to fire when the enemy was 50 or 60 meters away, or even when the enemy was at pike length from the musketeers. For sure, at this distance, they've only managed to shoot a single shot. They've only gotten off a single shot. That means they were recruits. If this really happened, if these stories were not just fables, these were raw recruits that couldn't load the musket, so they were told, when the enemy is very close, just fire your musket. This is not the standard situation. These people were professionals, they were mercenaries, and so they would know how to handle a musket, how to load up a musket, and so on. The second thing is, dragoons took the name from a pistol or a handgun called a dragoon, sometimes also known as a blunderbuss in English. And that had the same caliber as a musket, just a shorter barrel. So it was just as good as muskets, except it was inaccurate at long range. If they wouldn't fire beyond 50 to 60 meters, it would have been enough to arm all units with blunderbusses, with dragons. So here's our general.
Only a true hero of the Reich could mastermind such a crushing victory.
So a crushing victory. I lost only 89 men, even fewer than in the stainless steel battle. So the cavalry completely mauled the enemy because their shot units got so separated from their pikemen, and the shot units did well. So the other thing is, dragons were not common at all, these blunderbusses. They were very rare. They were used sometimes by dragoons, very rare. They would either use arquebuses or muskets because they were accurate at range. That was the big advantage of this weaponry. Okay, and so the other thing is the Starfort points were 250 to 300 meters apart, precisely because that was the range of muskets, and so they could be covered from one to the other by muskets. And there are many, many examples, stories from Robert Monroe and so on, where he talks about the 300 musket range, that this was the range of musket could kill a man, and so on. So, very crashing victory. Here are the results again. I may do more battles of this in different modes, just to show how bad it is for the AI for its shot units to have short ranges. Thank you for watching.